There is a popular saying which reads, the end justifies the means. There is another one my Igbo people often say, though it's mixed with English. It reads, Abachoso Agwamaya. Somehow, you could try to understand that this is talking about when you are done with a particular race or what you intend to do, at the end, when seeing the results, we can be able to tell the route which you took to get to that point. You can be able to tell if that route was good or not. The Kegite Club of Nigeria um, has a motto which reads, the gods are wise. But I read that so many years ago, and today I could tell myself that the gods are not just wise, they are always wise. Yes, this is out of experience. I'm talking about our ancestors. They are always wise, extremely wise. You see, a fool is someone who probably listens, he hears, he could listen, but he can't differentiate the right and the wrong. He can't differentiate what he's supposed to do and what he's not supposed to do. Also, a fool can also be someone who hears, he knows that this is right, but somehow he refused to do it. Not that he doesn't understand, but somehow he doesn't just want it to be done. The examples our ancestors have put in place for us, the pathway they have made for us, has been out of both experience and inspiration by the spirits. It didn't just happen. It wasn't just a personal decision out of emotions. No. Most of them, they don't even like it that way. They didn't even really say that, okay, it should be like this. But with experience, with the results seen, they understood that this is the best way to fix this, not minding whom it affects at the moment. But for future sake, this should be done like this. But somehow, just after the visit of the white man, this wisdom, these pathways, turn around to become evil in our eyes. It turned to become foolishness in our eyes. And somehow we have tried to create a new path. Not even creating a new path. We have tried to follow that white man who visited us. And all the years we have tried to follow them. And while we follow them, their lineup of deaths, lineup of hunger, lineup of wars, lineup of bitterness, lineup of betrayal, lineup of all manner of evil increased maybe up to 100 times. Today, using Nigeria as an example, if you haven't heard that 20 people, 100 people died, you haven't heard the news for the day. And we walk and pass. We just walk and pass because it has become a normal thing. But somehow, we have refused to trace back and ask ourselves, what is this pathway that we took that now takes hundreds of lives every day? What is this pathway? What is this pathway that we were told that one or two persons do die during our forefathers? But now, the new pathway which told us to leave the first one now takes 100, 200, thousands from us. Is that not bitter? Is that not bitter? Let's assume that somehow, we used to lose lives. As you heard, these rituals, that rituals, can you tell your conscience that the number of people who die now are equal to the number of people who died then? Can you tell your conscience that? Can you hit your chest and say, yes, the number of people who die now are lesser than the number of people who died then? Can you hit your chest and say that? Now, can you also tell yourself a clear truth to say that you could imagine, you could say that there are 100 times more deaths than before? I'm sure you can say that. So which one is better? Because everything we are doing in this life It's for betterment of what? Human life. So when that human life is no longer receiving that treatment, or when that human life is now risked or taking more, what then is your goal? What then is the purpose of your goal? Was the purpose of your goal achieved or not? Or did you forget the purpose of your goal? Life. Because everything centers on life. So when that life is no longer available, did you achieve your goal? A lot of things our ancestors made very plain. A lot of things our forefathers exemplified. A lot of things we watched them do. And they told us that this is the way these things are done. And somehow, like children, we do I don't want, I don't want. You know when a child is telling you, I don't want, I don't want. Do you see how that child is fooling? Have you seen a child telling you, I don't want, I don't want? Yeah? You know very well that that child is fooling because he doesn't know what he's doing. This is how it is when our ancestors are telling us, this is the pathway, but we are busy saying we don't want, we don't want. Can we tell the result now? Can we tell the result of what is? So let me tell you something. I always say this, whether you like it or we like it, we must do the right thing. Because we can't use our lives for examples anymore. You have to learn from experience. I thought we know about learning from experience. How come we dropped the experience of our forefathers to go do what? To go follow the white man who came yesterday? How come? How come we dropped the experience of our forefathers? I'm sure you have heard that a woman under menstruation is not supposed to prepare dishes, cook food for a man, not just his husband, for a man. In fact, I don't think you are supposed to prepare food that the public will eat. Do you think? Okay, we know. Let me not say do you think. We already know, we understood that there is an effect to this thing. There is an effect, a serious one. Now, before I go into that effect, I want to ask, if truly we understand, because as I'm speaking, I know we already know about it. So how come there is nothing like a task force or a regulation or mothers who will regulate this? I mean, elderly women. Do you want to tell me there are no young ladies or young women under menstruation cooking outside there in our various areas? Who is checkmating them? Now, do you want to tell me that those things you know that is the effect is no longer working? Huh? Or do you want to lie to yourself? You're like caught in a cage. It is either that which you know, you usually say it with your mouth, it's no longer working. And if it's no longer, what stops it from working? Are women no longer menstruating? Who stopped? Were you the one that went to stop that effect which you used to know? Were you the one? So what are those things you know that have the effects? Have you checked around you? And you think that's menstruation, that food cooked by a menstruating woman is not the cause of that which you know is actually the usual effects. Have you checked around? Or do you think it needs to be written on the forehead of each person to say that the cause of this is because you ate a food from a woman who is menstruating? Menstruation is nature. It is nature. But at the same time, we already know the effects, but spiritually. So how come people who I think are supposed to be governments or should I say community leaders or traditional leaders or anyone who is in charge of a particular area, how come such duty is ignored and you expect miracles to be happening? Or you want to tell me that effect which you know is no longer happening? No, tell me. That effect is no longer happening. It has been overruled, just like we claim we are now in New Testament. All things have passed away. I don't know how these things used to pass. I don't know who passes it. You can hear some people begin to say, so who will cook for his husband? That is why they tell you our ancestors are wise. The gods are wise. You see, you ask this question in order to go back to your foolishness. Yes. Why do you think, or why do you think that our ancestors, our forefathers, married more than one wife? Huh? Oh, um, don't look at my size. Listen to my words. Listen to my words. Our ancestors were wise. But the current society, the modern society, the white man, who were challenged greatly by our culture, who were intimidated on how things work here without their control, they said, no way. They came down to destroy it. And you know what? Some years back, it's not so far. I could remember I was in a bus, and a man was inside the bus saying that in less than 20 years' time, that divorce will be uncountable. Yes. We used to hear about these white people divorcing back in those years. And we would be like, why? And gradually, while we fixed ourselves into their culture, today we can see. Also, we used to hear lesbianism, gay. Today, it's all over our place. Because of what? The more we bring in their culture, the more we try to follow them, the more we try to copy them, that's the more those things are becoming reality among us. I used to hear single mothers far back many years. That thing doesn't come. How can somebody a woman just be single or a man just be single? Today, it's everywhere. Are you really counting your losses? No, are we really counting the losses? Or we want to go and get more? Or the culture that will take more. We want to go and get more. Anyone we hear, we'll go and carry and come. And you don't seem to understand that someone has come to infiltrate our culture. And the more we give them attention, is the more we get destroyed like them. We used to watch it in movies to see where a child, in fact, there is this popular short movie where a child, a baby girl of about, let's say, 1 year plus, she got angry of what the mother said and what the mother was reacting to. I don't know. And the baby was like, yo, motherfucker. Like, it abused the mother. The video went viral. I can't find that video right now. I can't. I would have played it. The video was very, very viral of that little baby who insulted the mother. A baby, like 1 year plus or 2 years. I don't think it's up to 3 years. Those things, you see that you will start seeing it, or if you have not started seeing it already, that's how it keeps coming down. Because of what? We want to use their rule, we want to apply their pattern, we want to practice their own culture, and think that sanity will be maintained among us. Don't you also hear the results? Don't you see the results? And yet you want to bring in this into your own culture and expect a different result. It's not possible. Let's use example of one man, one wife. How happy are they? How come the divorce continues? How many of these divorces happened during those our grandfathers and our fathers? How many of those divorces? And then you can hear he married 7 wives, he married 10 wives. You don't even, I can't even remember hearing maybe fights and all that. But all of a sudden, something visited us and everything changed. And then we can now fight. Even that one, the one that you married, one. You see, they try to claim that you marry one and that is good and that is the religious and that is all that. How come you're still having problems? How come your problems didn't end? Since you started fighting against polygamy, how happy are you in your marriage? You are the only one there, right? So how happy are you? We know that there are several effects when we eat a food cooked by a woman who is under menstruation. We are supposed to avoid them. We heard, we know that this can cause setbacks in your finance. It can cause misfortunes. It can cause accidents, mysterious deaths. It can cause untraceable diseases, because this is talking about spiritual. It can cause motor accidents. It can cause mysterious things, especially motor accidents and what? Financial setbacks. And we are aware of this. We can see people struggle in our society, men struggling in our society. What you hear is, what kind of job is he doing? This is he doing? He's not serious in his business. Is this, is that. You think that's which demonstration caused. You think he's going to come and write it on the forehead that this particular one, I am the one that caused it. Or you want to tell me that all this number of men we see every day, including me, that somehow that this thing is not affecting them. So what is that supposed leaders to do? What are they supposed to do? Fold hands and watch people die, and watch rage take over in little matters, and watch accidents, untimely deaths, unnecessary wars, destruction of lives and properties, disappointments, and so on. You, our elders, you know the effect these things can cause. And yet, we just walk and pass. And yet, you want me to believe that we have leaders. What are you leading me to? Huh? A lot this particular thing can cause, and yet we overlook it. With all mentioned, what else is left that is pulling a man down? What else is left? And that simple thing, we take off our eyes from it. And somehow, we rather go back to those people who try to make us believe it's no longer effective. We now go back to them to do what? To seek for answers, kneeling down to pray. We close our eyes to make the prayers. Meanwhile, we, with our eyes open, watched and left the solution. We ignored the solution and rather went to kneel down somewhere to pray for the same solution. Okay. What about birth period? After a woman has given birth, sex doesn't just take place. Now, there is a husband at home, a man who will often, once in a while, need sexual satisfaction. Now, what do you do to him at this moment? So what do you do to this man when he feels the urge for sex? So do you see why I tell you that the gods are wise? Our ancestors are wisest. There is a reason for every step, for every action, for every decision they have ever taken. There is a reason behind it. And while you live in this world, you will see that reason. They said that what an elderly man sees while sitting down, a child who stands above a tool won't still see it. Now you have thought or you have resisted polygamy. Who will satisfy your husband sexually within those periods? Do you see it? No, do you see it? There is a reason for every rules, for everything we call tradition, for everything we call, omenala. There is a reason why that was instituted. Nobody woke up and put those things. And while you live in life, you will encounter the reason. You could see that in this world. Look around you. Just look around you. Do you see the population of the male and the female? Whose number are more? Look around you. Which gender has more population? Look around you. Is it not the female gender? And I can tell you, even male working out, just look around you. You may be able to count 5 or 4, okay, let's put it 3 women before you can count 1 man. Each time you count 1 man, you'll be able to count up to 3, 4 women you will see around you. Some cases, like there are many cases I'll be in a bus, I'm the only man in that bus. Several cases. Some I will see we are only 2. A common sense will tell you that women are larger in number, right? Okay. If women are larger in number, you want to get married. Let's assume that we have 10,000 women, and then let's say we have 3,000 men, because times 3 of it to give you around 9,000 to 10,000. Let's put it that way. So let's assume we have 10,000 women and we have 3,000 men. And those 10,000 women, all of them, you wish and they want to marry, right? Including you as a woman, you want to marry. So the 3,000, the first 3,000 from you goes to marry the first 3,000 men. Which other man is remaining to marry the other 7,000 women? 7,000 women will be left and 3,000 will be married. And you're among the 3,000. Let me take it that way first. You're among the 3,000 that married the 3,000 men. So what happens to your fellow girl, the other girl? Yes, you struggle, right? Competition, right? And then you got one, right? So the other one is misfortune that will betide her. Huh? Or are you going to fight nature that made it so? Nature already, should I say, makes it, we see it like this in nature, that women are more in number. So, what about, let me put it that you are not among the 3,000 that got married to the 3,000 men? How would you feel? No, tell me. How will you feel to stay without a companion, a husband that will maybe take care of you or cater for you? Or maybe while you see the other women enjoying, how would you feel? This is nature, remember. This is nature. So if women outnumbers men, and then during marriage, how then do you want your fellow women to get married? And you know what? Even the 3,000 men that are available, it's not all of them that will be available for the marriage. Some are in prison. Yes. Some are in prison. Some also maybe some kind of natural deaths. Somehow they are not available. How many women are in prison? And how many men are in prison? I think this also reduces that 3,000, maybe to 2,000. Yes. We have to use your common sense. Our elders, our ancestors, the gods, they are wiser than you. They are wiser than you. They see farther than you. So when you want to fight polygamy, when you want to withstand polygamy with your Western thoughts, with your westernized brain, just consider this nature and consider this fact. That same nature that makes you to menstruate, that same nature made it that way. Yes. Another point I want to make is about marriage age. You see, I noticed that the Muslims, some of them marries very tender women. I've seen that of even 9 years. But maybe let me not go so low. Let me start with the nature, because everything I'm saying, I want to compare it with nature, because whatever is not in line with nature, because you can see nature, whatever is not in line with nature is already going wrong. Yeah. There is something we call puberty age. That puberty age often begins within the age range of 9, 12. Yes. It often begins around that range. For a young boy, you can wake up one day and notice that you have released sperm. Yeah. And for the female, for the young girls, they begin to, grow breasts, and then some of them begin to menstruate. Their bodies begins to somehow, puff up. The feminine, do they call it estrogen, begins to react. These are nature. These are nature. Now, these things are things that happens in a woman's body to prepare the woman for childbirth. It shows that the woman is capable of doing what? Giving birth. Or let me ask, someone who hasn't started menstruating, can that girl, get pregnant? Can that person get pregnant? I doubt, right? I don't think so. If I am wrong, please correct me. But from the little knowledge I have, a girl child who isn't menstruating yet cannot get pregnant. It means she's not yet ripe for that. So nature made it that this will be the sign, the beginning of what? The beginning that she can now become pregnant. Out of our own ideology, out of our own factors. Some say the girl is not yet mature to do this and do that. I'm not against all of those things. But what I'm against is how come this same person stays from this 9, 10, okay, let's say 12. and stays till 30 years. 30 years without what? Getting married. Without getting married. Remember, when these changes begins, this person begins to feel sexual urge automatically. It begins to feel it. The body changes and everything. It begins to sense it. And then, out of your own, laws, your created laws, you say that the person should stay till 18 years before getting married. So this person keeps feeling the sexual urge till 18 years. Now, do you want to tell me that there is no side effects for this girl who has stayed without sex for this extra what? Let's say 9 to 18, that is another 9 years. Do you want to tell me that there is no serious effects, a biological effect on this girl child, whom you have restricted through your law not to get married? While some, because of the money mentality, some of our elders has made it in a way that before a man will get married to these young, tender women, to these women in general, we have to pay through our nose. We will pay through our nose to marry a daughter, a girl. Meanwhile, you claim to practice tradition. And that your tradition, when they give a dowry, you will take some and give back some. But meanwhile, you have collected millions. You have collected millions. And then you claim that this one dowry, you take some and return some. And because of this high, bill you give in the exchange of your daughter, so many men in a hard economy like this. What pains me in this aspect is that it is men doing this. Elders. Now, at the end of the day, you claim that you are not trading your child. You're not trading them. You're not exchanging them for money. 2 bags of yam will want to fill up a room. Just like the one I went some weeks ago. We have to put bundles of cash, up to about 10 different envelopes. And that was after buying all the things they requested. They claimed that we have to repeat the same thing in envelopes. There are points that when you people do this, you don't know that the man is just using his last strength to do it. And some hatred has started piling up against you people. And that hatred somehow is now being, how do I put it? Is now being transferred to your daughter. And you claim you love that your daughter, but you are making things already difficult for her. Because every time that young man remembers you people, are we child? Nobody is a kid. He will remember it. And you claim you are not trading your child. Some of these little things, these things you see as little, are one of the reasons there are problems in some homes. Rage in a man, the anger. But sometimes shame will not allow him to say it out or voice it out to the wife. But you can hear words striking out. Who caused it? Is it the man? No, he's not the one that caused it. He's just feeling the pain and voicing out. It is your own people. It is our elders, the people we call our elders, who are doing this evil. To monetize your child. And then you claim that you are not trading that lady. The worst of it all that is causing some of these late marriages is after the issues of parents collecting high bills in the name of marriage rights, the women themselves, the girls, has come to monetize everything about them. They have come to monetize their body. Don't forget the initial analysis that there are 3,000 men, in fact less than 3,000 men, to marry these 7,000 or more than 7,000 women. Yet, this 7,000 that is left is still monetizing. Not the 10,000 monetize their body, actually. They all monetize their body. Now you monetize your body. Whoever that's coming to marry you is the highest bidder. And then after the highest bidder comes and takes you, you start claiming love after. You met someone to pay, like you want somebody to spend. And if he doesn't have, he won't be part of you. You won't be partner with him. And then when that means your title is money. Your title is money. And then when this person pays this, and he has paid over your head, right? And then he begins to live the way he likes since he's able to pay. And you, the same you, return to start claiming. Maybe he doesn't give you attention. You start claiming attention, he doesn't give you attention, he doesn't love you, he's going for another woman. He's going for another woman to also do what? To pay the price. He's going to pay the price of another woman, another one who has monetized herself. He's going to pay again. Oh, you think that he can't pay? You think some people can't pay? They will pay and give you extra. And because of this monetization, so many men, because of hard society, are not able to raise these funds in the manner which you are expecting.